thank you for joining our session. The topic for this evening is the grandmother's wisdom, power, and influence in education. It's going to be a panel between Silvia Rocha, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If not, please do correct me. Monica Rosales and Elisa Bernal de Oliveira. I will leave the introduction to them. I'm sure that everybody is very excited to hear their conversation. So, Monica, Silvia, floor is yours. Or if you want to wait for the other speaker more, that's also possible. Maybe in the meantime, some of the other participants can share expectations from today, from this session while we're waiting. So up to Monica and Silvia, how you want to take it forward.
Yes, I would like to listen to your why do you choose to hear about this subject about grandmothers, if you have children or if you have interesting experiences with grandmothers and with elderly who bring their ancestrality to life, to present life, with this strength, with the roots. And I would like just to listen a little bit what is the call for this meeting for those who are here. Please, is it possible?
Monica, wouldn't you like to introduce yourself first of all, as she asked us?
Yes. I was just waiting for you.
Right. No, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Monica Rosales. I am from São Paulo, Brazil. I am nearly 65 years old. I have two grandchildren, twins, and the next one is coming. I have been working with elderly people, grandmothers especially, who are very active, about 380 of them over the last 18 years. That's why Manish has called me to tell a bit about this program too. And for me, being a grandmother is over my expectations. I will share a little bit that with you. And I invited Silvia, who is part of a group I am also part of, which is called Transition Town, here in Cotia, Granja Viana, and she also has she's a wonderful grandmother and very lively and full of enthusiasm, and I'm sure she will share with you. Please, Silvia.
Okay, so I'm Silvia Rocha, Rocha, and I'm also from São Paulo city, southeast of Brazil. And I've been living in Granja Viana, a small town a little bit far from the main capital. And then we have this movement, Transition Towns, as Monica said. And we have been working with sustainability for quite a long time. And we are a very united group. And then Monica invited me to participate to this moment mostly as a grandmother. And actually, I have two grandsons. One is 1.5-year-old, and the other is 10-year-old. And I myself am a poet, mostly a haiku poet. And I studied education and journalism as well.
So maybe we can start, Silvia, because Elisa will come at the right time, right?
Yes, sure. Maybe now the question you asked the audience.
Yeah.
about
I would like to start with a Brazilian children's music. Maybe you we have a very rich culture, and I would like just to share a little bit of this sense of warmth that comes with this music. A canoa virou, vou deixar ela virar. Foi por causa da Silvia que não soube remar. Se eu fosse um peixinho e soubesse nadar, eu tirava a Silvia lá do fundo do mar. Esquindolele, esquindolele, lá, lá. Esquindolele, não sou eu quem caiu lá. A canoa virou, vou deixar ela virar. Foi por causa da Sandra que me soube mar. Se eu fosse um peixinho e soubesse nadar, eu tirava a Sandra lá do fundo do mar. So we have a very rich.
What was the name of the song? Sorry to interrupt you.
The canoe, the boat, the little boat has
turned down. The boat turned down.
A canoa virou for the I will let it fall down. If I was a fish, I would help Silvia to come in again. She didn't know how to paddle, so I will help her because I'm a fish to come back to the. So, Silvia, I would like you to tell a little bit about how you were educated and how this ancestrality has been helping you to educate your grandchildren and children who are around you.
Yeah, well, I belong from a family of people that studied a lot, and they were all educators, and they loved very much reading literature. So I was brought up in this very live environment of stories, old stories about the family. My father would always tell us his grandfather married an Indian, a woman from the original people, and we had this ancestrality from the first inhabitants of Brazil. And I remember that he told us many times those stories, and this environment of loving our language and honoring our ancestrality and our grandparents. This was very important. From the part of my mother, my grandfather came from Spain, and during the immigration period we had after the war, and we also had many lovely times with him when he would tell us all his experiences, because he came very young to Brazil, but he knew many stories and legends about his family there, and he belonged to the very south of Spain, Granada. And right now, my youngest daughter is there in Granada, and she feels a different energy. She's so in love with the place. So I'm sure she feels, this energy that belongs to the south of Spain as well. So I had this childhood that I would say we were three daughters. We played a lot, and it was so nice that we were three because we could share so many traditions of, songs like this one that Monica has just remembered and we sang. And we read a lot as well at night. My parents would read stories for us. So I have all these memories, lovely memories.
Right. Thank you, Silvia. Yeah, I also belong to immigrant family of Lebanese tradition. So both grandmothers came from there, and life among the community was very much built up on our roots. We had always everything would happen around the table, full of food, and so this warmth of eating together and of sharing the food and of meeting people was very strong in our culture. My grandmother was also a poet, so he would share his poetry with us, and we could always listen to them speaking in Lebanese, in Arabic, nearby us, and we always wonder how what they were speaking about. And we had many friends of this culture around, and we played a lot together, and we had a lot of Brazilian music, a lot of traditional storytelling, traditional playroom, life at the farms and around nature was very strong. So we had strong rhythms related to nature, and that's something that I carry with me. This love for nature, this love for celebrations around the table, not only around the table, but the celebration of life. And I carry that with my 3 children who are now adults. We have a lot of meetings together where we can share life. Silvia, I would like to ask you, you are a poet, and how do you feel that art empowers children and your grandchildren?
Well, I think this, how can I say? Well, art is always so inspiring, and even when they are very young. Now I have this very, very little grandson, Lírio. His name is Lírio, the flower lily, and he's a boy. And when my daughter says his name, they say, "Oh, Lírio, Lily, is this a name?" Because the parents are poets too. And they named him after a flower, which lily is rare for men in Brazil. And I have always read poetry for my children, and now for my grandchildren, and I have and I always read for them poetry as well, and we always painted together as well, and we draw together, and we played, we always acted as well, created some plays, and they would wear some costumes, and I can say we had a very good time. We always have a very, very good time. We laugh a lot, we play a lot, and they're so creative. And it's such a pleasure to stay with them. It's a very good pleasure. And while Monica was speaking, I just remember something very special to tell you. I was actually brought up by a person who worked at home, because my mother, I am now 66, and my mother was she was a pioneer in her time, because she didn't work at home. She wanted to study all the time. She did lots of different courses, and she attended university in 3 courses, and after post-graduations and everything. She was very talented to work and to study. And she would leave home at 6 a.m. And sometimes she would come back at midnight, working, teaching, translating, things like that. And actually, I was brought up by a person, a very lovely and young lady. She was from the northeast of Brazil, Alagoas. And I had I was privileged, because I learned songs from the Northeast. I learned many legends for there. She told us many, many stories. And afterwards, my mother, this lady was literate, and my mother taught her how to read and write, and she was so grateful for this. And actually, I was told that I am a Northeastern soul, and I think I do.
Yeah, we had this chance of relating to many different cultures, as we are a different country. We have a lot of people from the northern east and from the north of Brazil, in the south of Brazil, and this mixture of cultures is very strong, bringing dances and music and arts. I think that we and nature, this is very strong in our culture. I am an art therapist, so I have been always very involved with painting, with modeling, with clay, with storytelling. I love stories. I have been working with stories over the last 40 years. So both my children and my grandchildren, we love to, I love to tell stories to them, fairy tales from all over the world, bringing this enchantment of life. And I think this nourishes their soul, bringing stories from Africa, from Asia, from Brazil. This is the whole universe. And we love painting. We love to work with colors. And when I put this wet paper, they jump like if they were completely involved and nourished by colors, and giving them big brushes to paint. It's just so wonderful. So that's an activity I always do. And we always collect plants from the garden and do art work with flowers and roots, and working with our imagination around nature, which is so vivid. And also something I love to do with them is cooking. Cooking is something that when you involve yourself with making something wholesome you're going to eat, we bring our culture in, we bring our making together and sharing experiences. It's so, food is a bridge. That's right, Chantal. Here, Nina, can you please share title or links? Let me see what she's telling. Yeah. Storytelling is data collection. Also, myth helps our psyche process to live myth in modern times. That's right. That's right. There are so many titles. You have to see in your country which are the collectors of mythology. Mythology is for older children, but fairy tales, they always bring this evolution content, which you deal with you deal with the difficulties with the great. Como fala desafios, Silvia? Challenges.
Challenge, yes, challenge.
You
Yes.
deal with your different challenges, and help comes from either the nature world or an old being, an old woman, the person who is the main actor is helped by these forces and can evolve. And then in the end, there is this whole enclosure, this whole completion of the evolutionary path. So storytelling is something wonderful in that sense. Fairy tales bring a lot of wisdom with forests and rivers and lakes and swamps, and so this wonderful landscape of inner life is there for us to work with. Actually, education. A Brazilian educator, Stella Barbieri, said that education is a forest. And if education is a forest, we grandmothers and grandparents are the roots. And the roots, they all interconnect and bring life from under the earth with all its nutrients to give the possibility of children to be upright and to have all these amazing possibilities of everything that comes from the roots, now all our ancestrality, our culture, our wisdom, our values, all this. Como fala, Silvia? Legado?
Heritage.
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 The good heritage that we can bring. And we, as grandmothers, we also have to strengthen ourselves. I say that because many times life takes us away from our relation with the earth, with nature, and we get somehow taken to other routes, to other places. And I think that we as grandmothers, we have to strengthen ourselves in groups of grandmothers, in groups of people who can bring connections, good connections with life, with nature, with art, with music. And in that sense, community, I have this work with the community center for elderly people. And when I say elderly people, if we are 60, we have still much life. We have 20, 30 years of life, which is so abundant. and we have to connect ourselves again to this life. And this is so amazing. It's such a time for freedom, for reconnecting ourselves with our real values. And in that sense, I find that living convivência, Silvia,
to spend time with sharing experiences.
Sharing experiences of life with other people who are the same, in the same moment of life is such empowering experience. I can see, I work with people who are less privileged here around the city of São Paulo, and they usually have been somehow cut off their culture, and the experience of being together and of reliving this culture again, so that our grandchildren can see that we have again the power of laughing, of making, of being playholders in life and in theater and in playing music or learning how to play violin, guitar. This is so special. Again, re-enlivening our hands, who are losing the ability to make things together. So this is such a good thing for to bring back to children. Knitting, sewing, all these activities, creative activities we make with hands. This is such a good thing to do. So, in fact, I think we have to re-enliven these big meetings with grandmothers, so that we empower ourselves to bring life again, our culture again. Here you say, Chantal, it helps the nervous system
to regulate. Yeah, it's very good for the brain. All those manual activities, they are very good for the brain. They have studies now.
Yeah, that's right. Here we have what kind of stories, chapters added to family history have you created and shared through generations of family about your life lessons, experiences? You want to answer that?
What kind of story, chapters that have you created and shared through generations of family about life lessons, experiences?
I say that because your introductions, you used the history of your family to share. What are you adding for your story? I'm 60 and I have grandchildren, and my family wasn't very open about, some of our history, which is something that is unpleasant to repeat. You know what I'm saying? In certain instances here in America. And so I'm adding chapters of my life to the history. So I was wondering, what are you adding about your life experiences to all of the stories that you are telling and sharing about your family history? What is your story?
Oh, this is a very great question, because I have my 66 years of stories and experiences, and yes, this is very important, because I love to talk to them, even with my children and now with my grandchildren, about the challenges I have been having during all my life, and the trips I did, I used to be a backpacker and to travel to Peru with a train called the Death Train. And I would love to tell them the experiences with the trips. And another thing that I loved to tell my children was that there is a very important film in Brazil called Central do Brasil, which is the name of a rail station in Rio de Janeiro, and the main actress, the main character, she writes letters for persons that were illiterate. She was in this rail station writing letters. And I used to do that with people that couldn't write. And I would write the stories for them to send letters. And I loved to tell this to my children and about this. And as I was a kindergarten teacher, I learned so many songs and so many stories. And I would tell them, oh, all the songs I learned and the habits we had. Oh, let's sit in a circle to share experiences. So yeah, this is a lovely question. I think Monica will like to say something as well.
Yeah, I'm also a traveler. So I love to tell about my traveling experiences where I slept in nature and with not being afraid of anything. When we were backpackers, we used to be on the road for 3 months, just taking a ride with anybody who would come by, and just trusting in life and trusting that we would have a place to sleep or a place and someone to share food with us. So I think that we belong to a time where this was possible to do with no fear. And that was such a privileged time that I love to tell to them, and about working experiences with things that we would never do today, like picking fruits in summertime, so that we could work in the fields and get some money and continue to travel. That was such an experience. Every summer we would do that as young people. I love to tell them, but I also like to tell them of, and not only to tell, but my children saw I had 2 difficult times of being ill, and this strength to deal with suffering, and to even though to keep on sustaining life and believing that I would get better, or some. And I had also children who had health problems, and we would, as a family, be strong and supportive of this experience with storytelling, which is such a wonderful tool to work with, and also being able to support each other with being courageous to deal with difficult situations in life. I also feel that as grandmothers, we carry this. We have passed through a lot of things, and we still keep light in our eyes and enthusiasm for life. And I think this resilience is something that we have to pass to our children. This resilience of being able to support life as it comes. Also dealing with death is something that when you get older, you have already passed through some loss, and how we can trust that life has a cycle, and that some things and some people have to die, but others are coming, and give this sense of trust in life, and that death belongs to life and life belongs to death. This cycle is something that we only know when you get older and you have more maturity to deal with. So to be supportive of this in life is very, I think it's something important. And only maturity brings that. Some people get mature earlier, isn't? I don't know your experience with that, but with me it came a little bit later. I didn't have so many death experiences in early life, but now we deal with that, and being able to be supportive of this cycle of life is very important.
And then I'm sorry, and then I just had one more question. When you're working with your elders, because I work with my elders as well, do you do like a story time, or, I sat in a committee, in a group with some elders, and, from time to time, maybe certain topics I could see made certain people uncomfortable. But there were other people who had a story to tell and wanted to share it. So sometimes I'm like, I don't want to bring up that kind of topic because of what it might, stir in someone else. But, this person over here needs to share. So I don't know if you do story time with the group you work with, and then how you manage it.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Lorraine. I work every week with this, and I have been working. I choose a story with a team. Usually, there are many stories, but usually stories from traditional background. Sufi stories, there is fairy tales, folk tales, nature stories. There are many. There is a big choice. And then I bring a topic. For instance, this last week I brought a story of a man who got a treasure and with the money of this treasure, they decided as a group that they were going to buy seeds to plant a garden. And in the way, he meets a man with camels, with a lot of birds and como é que é aves, Silvia? Hã? Mick?
Yeah. But you can say birds.
Yeah, with a lot of birds that were hanging, and that they were hanging and just beating on the camels' bellies, and they were suffering very much. And this man, when he sees these hundreds of birds being so badly treated, and he asks, "What are you going to do with this?" He says, "Oh, this is going to be food for the emperor, and its feathers are going to decorate his room." And this man gets shocked with that. He gets so annoyed with that. And he asked them, "I'm going to give you this this jar of coins, of golden coins, so that you can free these animals. Give them to me. And he frees these birds. He takes care of them, gives water to them, and take care of them and free them. And later on, these birds, they help them. They help him to plant this wonderful garden, this magic garden. So I asked them what they like of the story and so on, and what um, 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 what in life brings you so much uncomfort that makes you, that indignates you. Can I say that word?
So, dignity, yeah, dignity, yeah.
That makes you so annoyed and indignant about a life question. And they said, oh, we make little groups, and they say, some said children being not well cared, elderly people being not cared, people with health problems. They brought many subjects, people who are not included in society and so on. So they brought this what really touches their heart. And the next day, which was this week, we brought the story again. And out of this, which really, these themes, which really annoy you, can you make a project out of it? A small project. You have a bag with, let's say, $2,000. It's not a lot, and it's not so little. You have some money. What project can you make out of it, and how can you move from that with purpose? Because we as grandmothers, we need purposes in life. Until, you need to be all the time challenged, not with big things, but with small projects you can make. And they talked among themselves in groups, and they brought this idea that they wanted to help homes for elderly who are lonely and with no care. So they are going to organize themselves to see which homes are these and what they can do for them. Because they are younger, they are old, but they are not so old. They are 60, 70, and they still have strength for that. So you can bring themes for sure out of storytelling. You bring a story, you choose, and you bring to their own lives, their own biographies. What these stories tell you about you? How does this story resonate in your life? Resounds in your life. So that somehow has been working over the 18 years I have working with elderly people. And you can make always small groups, 4-people groups, so that they have time to really share their own experience, not big groups. Then you bring to the big group, but small groups, you give space for everybody to put themselves to bring their own personal lives, and that you need to bring this space. It's very important.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hope it works for you.
another thing I was going to talk was about time, because what we see in Brazil, we work a lot, we work very much, I mean, generally speaking, and the necessity of to have a special time to share with family and mainly with our grandchildren, and how this makes a difference, a very big difference, when we have sometimes a fixed time, a day, a moment, so they can count on you, that they can count on your company, they can count on you even to study with them and things like that. And this is something very important, because I realized by my experience that if I don't do that, so I would do something, another thing, go here and there, and it's very important, the here and now, and to share our lives with them, now that we are alive, now that they kind of need us, and it's something very, very important that I think.
Yeah, Silvia, I think that's very important, is rhythm of life. Night time, evening time, the time to go to bed, the time to wake up, one time of the day that you choose to be completely present with them. I think that is very important. The seasons, to wake up to connect with nature. Rhythms of day and night, the seasons, time of spring, when you go out in nature and you really collect things and you observe things, you observe the plants, you see a bottom opening, and you see a flower or a plant who is in need of watering, and so you observe and you connect and you interact with nature. And in winter time, when life is drawn from you, and you can observe what is dead and what is springing and what is coming back to life. I think this is this connection with nature and with the earth and with life, with the rhythms of the earth is very important. And I think that grandparents have time for that, because
Yes.
sometimes, you as parents are working the whole time, and with little time to see the details. And life is made with details who are so special. So this ability to create times of enchantment with nature, and this religious, in the sense, not in the sense of going to church, but this religions and devotional feeling for life. I think that grandparents have this strong, and can help the children to harmonize with this feeling for the cosmos, and for the starry world, and for this enchantment of life. I think this is very strong responsibility of the grandparents.
Yeah. Nina wrote to us, "My heart feels warm with your sharing, my tears for the tenderness and strong roots you are strengthening. Thanks. Oh, so precious. What and how you are sharing your wisdom. Thank you. Oh, thank you. We thank you very much for this opportunity, actually. We thank you. But Yeah, because Monica and I think we share this in common. We love to be grandmothers. We love to be mothers. We love to have friends and to honor our family as well. So it's so good, so nice to be here. I also would like to tell you something about cooking, because Monica said it was important. These moments we spent with them cooking, this transformation, this chemical transformation, and this sacred transformation about food, when we take a flour, eggs, a little bit of water, some oil, milk sometimes, and we create a cake, and then you create bread, and we belong to the South and Southeast, and we have these lots of Italian traditions. And there is one food called gnocchi. And gnocchi, it's very magic, because when we are going to, they are, small, let's say, cakes, little cakes, salted little cakes made of potatoes. And then when we put them in the boiling water, they come up, and then we have to, fish them. And then my grandson, he always says, "Oh, let's cook gnocchi," because he loves to fish the little balls of potato, mashed potato. And my grandson, he likes when it's raining, because we cook a small cake called raining cook. Because we just do this cook, and we fry, and then we put cinnamon and sugar. And he says, "Oh, Grandma, it's raining." I'm so happy. It's raining. Let's cook bolinho de chuva. So rainy small cookies, And all these little and simple things are important, like Monica said, looking at nature, observing what is growing, what is needing watering. Oh, yeah, the small and simple things that now we have time to share with them. It's a treasure, actually a treasure.
Now, someone here is asking, Vishva, do you have any stories about creating new recipes? You want to say something, Silvia?
We have any story? Well, actually, new recipes. Yeah. Sometimes we I think, is this what you want to know? When we create let's do a different cake, let's do a different pasta. Is that you are asking, Vishwa?
There is a lot that we get from our elders, and then there is in the time that we have to cook, there's something available and there's something not available, and then you make something new without even having any intention of doing it. But then you have to balance the taste, make it that was what I was thinking about.
Yeah, so when we create new food with them, we just decided, let's do something different. Is that you're asking us? Oh, yes. Even because when we are going to cook, sometimes some ingredients are lacking. So we have to invent to make something else. Well, I will tell you something. Last Thursday, I was with my 10-year-old grandson, and now when I go to his home to study with him, to do the homework with him, now I am teaching him how to cook and how to do smashed eggs, for instance, smashed eggs, crumbled. Oh, I forgot. Smashed eggs, and he likes very much to have cereals with milk. And then I told him, have you ever tried to put some banana, to cut banana and put in your cereals and milk? And he said, oh, but is it nice? Does it fit? Banana with milk and cereals? I said, yes, it's so lovely. And then he tried it and he said, oh, it's so nice. And I said, and it's very good for your health. You're even eating banana too.
Sylvia, the thing is, actually, any fruit except for dates with milk is bad combination. It will cause you indigestion. Any except for dates, any fruit.
Yeah, but you know, we in Brazil we have been challenging this because because we were told, oh, you cannot mix mangoes with milk, and you cannot mix this and that. But actually, we do here what we call vitamin. Our vitamin is when we put banana, milk, and you put in the liquefier, blah, 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 blah. And we do it with avocado too. And for us, it's not bad for your health.
Avocado does work, but not bananas. You know, it's Ayurveda, ancient Ayurveda wisdom that comes in my lineage. But
Yeah,
it tells you no fruits except for dates, mangoes maybe, and maybe avocados. No other apple, banana, anything else. It's what called virodahar, means contradictory foods. I don't
yeah,
understand. My family doesn't understand it. I am picking back 10,000-year-old things now. I don't know.
yeah. I know because I have a friend that she practices Ayurveda every day. But we are from a tropical country. We have this, you know, many kinds of fruit, and we have the habit of mixing. So, you know, different cultures and backgrounds actually. But it's nice. It's nice that you are putting that.
Thank you. Now I think we are
Yeah, I
just
think,
to
yeah.
close, yeah, because there is another meeting.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being with us and giving your time to share with us. Maybe we can just end up with a music.
Yes, a song, yes.
Boi, 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 boi,
Boa
boi na casa.
para preta.
Pega esta menina que tem medo de careta. Não, 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 coitadinha, não pega essa menina que tem medo de formiga. Boi, 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 boi da cara preta. Pega esta menina que tem medo de careta.